So since you all weren't able to go on this nature walk on your own, I thought I would go in my backyard and kind of point some things out for you guys. So today we're talking about biotic and abiotic factors inside of an ecosystem and what those things actually look like. So I'm walking around my yard, and I don't know if you guys can see, it's kind of a mess right now. What are some biotic factors that you might find in a backyard? So I'm looking on the ground. I see quite a few actually right now. And if I walk into my garden, I found something earlier today that you guys might like. So here's my garden. You can tell I've weed ate the entire garden. And we're looking for biotic things. Do you guys see that? Do any of you guys know what this is? So inside of this nest are actually little tiny baby bunnies. I don't know if you guys can see them moving, but they will use the hair right here from the mom and sticks or anything that they can find. Now, when I opened up this nest, I did see some abiotic things in there, and a lot of times birds will use abiotic things to build their nests, such as insulation or even the silver stuff that you guys see here. And they'll use, fluff or food packages or things like that in order to help create their nest. But baby bunnies will actually pull the fur from them, and that's what you see all around here, that fur. They molt it, the mom does, and then uses it as warmth for the baby. So we were going and digging around in the garden today, and we found this nest. Luckily, I missed it. So that brings up to me abiotic factors that you might see in an environment. So when you look around, what abiotic things do you currently see? And how do you think that might impact the biotic factors, such as this, inside of an ecosystem? Think about it. A couple things that you guys might notice looking back here is that the fencing that's around my garden helps to keep a lot of the animals out that would typically eat the things that are growing in the garden. What do you think this silver reflective insulation would do to help my garden? How would that abiotic factor affect the biotic factors in my garden? So this silver insulation is actually used in order to reflect, and it scares away birds. It scares away birds and a few other animals. So a lot of times when you grow things in a garden, birds will be horribly attracted to the garden, and in turn, they start eating everything that's inside of my garden. So by having that reflective stuff there, it scares them away and protects these little guys. These guys are actually, they're jumping right now, are actually really smart to stay right where they are. So really good nesting place for them. And I didn't want to move them or disturb them, so I just kind of weed ate around it and left them there. So we're going to hope and pray Mom comes back. All right, and I'll put some pictures of what the baby bunnies look like on there for you after I had discovered them. So when I look around my backyard, you're going to notice a few other abiotic factors, and I don't know if you guys can see it. So again, I have the reflective stuff up over here. And remember, the abiotic are all of the non-living things inside of an environment, whereas biotic are going to be all the living things inside of an environment or an ecosystem. So would you think that dead things, like, for example, dead sticks, dead leaves, soil, do you think that would be biotic or would that be abiotic? If something is not living, is dead, is that biotic or abiotic? Think about it. if you guessed that it's biotic, you're correct. Because at one point, it was actually living matter. At one point, it was living. And if it lived and grew, at one point, it is considered biotic. So anywhere you look around, especially if you have kids, you can probably find garbage, right? So garbage would actually be what we would call an abiotic factor. And right now I see fluff in my backyard, not sure why. But if I look at this, what do you think this could be used for by animals? And do you think it could be harmful to animals? If so, how? So this right here could be used for nesting for the bunnies, which I actually did see some of this in their nest. Birds can actually use it in nests, but if they swallow it, this could be really harmful for them, which is why it's good for us to pick it up. So again, the big point I want you guys to get through here is that abiotic factors affect our biotic organisms that live and grow in a particular area.